Here's the thing about this ko'i, this ads. It was kept at the heiau, Paka'alana in Waipio, and it was guarded by two old ladies. So the ko'i was tied onto the middle of a rope, and the ends of the rope were tied around the necks of each old lady. And that's how this ko'i kapu was guarded. Every now and then, they would have to use the ko'i, and the ko'i would move. So in the old days, whenever high chiefs or their possessions were moved about or they moved around, a kapu was called, and it was a kapu moe. The kapuo, the person, the messenger, the kukala who would go around and call the kapu, he's called the kapuo. He would go around from one part of the district to the next, or the ahupua'a, and he would go in these boundaries and he would call, "E moe! E moe!" The ilio cannot bark, the pua'a cannot grunt, the moa cannot o'o. Everybody was kapu, and the people had to moe. Doesn't mean go sleep, but they had to prostrate themselves. And so ʻIwa, in having to figure out how he was going to get this ko'i, he kiloed. He was a good kilo, yeah? He watched every move, and he saw the kapuo run with his lepa, with his little flag, and he saw him call this kapu, "E moe, e moe." And so he knew, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to get this ko'i. So one evening, before the kapuo could go out, ʻIwa impersonated him with his lepa, his little flag and all, and he started from one boundary to the next, and he called out, "E moe, e moe." Now everybody thought that was the usual person because he sounded like the kapuo. The kapuo himself thought, oh, maybe I was replaced by the chief. And so he prostrated himself as well. And so this is how ʻIwa gets close enough to be able to aihue that ko'i. So ʻIwa goes to the halepili where the ko'i was kept. And he knows that the two luahine, the two old ladies, are in there. So he calls out, "Hey, you two, auhe olua, let me touch the ko'i so I can tell Umi that it's safe. You guys there? Oh, aye. Ne'ene e maya pili, come, move closer to me." So the two old ladies move closer, and ʻIwa sticks his hand in between the pili, and he feels the ko'i. And huki ino oya, he pulls it. And the two old ladies are choking. And he runs. And then later on, they're trying to yell, "Aiwe!" But ʻIwa already took off. And so he runs, and he sees that, oh, some people are chasing him, but he's gone. So by the time he gets to Umi's place, Umi's sleeping already. So ʻIwa goes hiamoe too. And then in the morning, Umi calls for him. And ʻIwa goes to him, and Umi says to him, "So, I guess you didn't get my ko'i after all." And the little boy answers, "A'ole paha, I guess not. But I did get a ko'i last night. Maybe it's yours?" Umi sees that, and he's so pu'iwa. No way. Kahaha. No way. This kid, he was able... How the heck did he do that? So Umi says, okay. One more challenge. Then I will call you the very best. I'm going to put you up against my 6 best aihue. Okay? The one who wins, ola, will live. And the one who loses, aue, make. So this is high stakes now. ʻIwa says, okay. So he calls his 6 aihue, and there's ʻIwa, and he tells them, you'll have one night to do this challenge. There's 1 hale for you 6, and 1 hale for you, ʻIwa. The one who fills the hale with all the things that you're able to aihue, well, that's who's gonna ola. That's who's gonna live, and that's who's gonna win. Night falls, and the 6 thieves get busy. And they're running around, stealing everything that they can. So try imagine in the old days, what kinds of things might you aihue without anyone knowing? And so they steal umeke, bowls, and they steal huewai, water gourds, and they steal upena, nets, mea'ai, food that they can find in the umeke. They steal papaku'i'ai, yeah, boards for pounding kalo, and they steal pua'a and ilio and konane boards, surfboards. They even steal men, women, and children. And so the six are running around filling their house all night long. And they look at ʻIwa and they go, "Ay, look, that kid. Kehia moine. The kid is sleeping awe." It's aumoe time already. It's middle of the night. And they tired. And so they go, "Okay, we pau." Their house is piha. And they drink some ava and they go hia moe. And they're confident, yeah. And it's then that our hero wakes up and he looks. And what does he do? Goes to their hale, steals everything that they put into their hale, and he puts it into his own. And the last place he goes is to the chief Umi's sleeping house. The next morning, everybody wakes up, and ʻIwa is still sleeping. And Umi goes to the first house of the six aihue. And awe, they're all pu'iwa, the house is empty. And the six wake up, and they're like, "What?" And then they go to ʻIwa's house, and he's there sleeping. And to everyone's astonishment, ua piha ku'i kahale. The house is filled to the tippy top. And when Umi looks up, he sees something that just takes his breath away. And it's his sleeping blanket. And he looks up there and he goes, "Oh, my ku'ina pa'u is up there. No wonder I kind of got cold last night." And then he tells ʻIwa, "ʻIwa, wake up. You are indeed the greatest aihue of all. Come live with me as my punahele." And ʻIwa laughed. "Okay, hikino. Ola oia." And he lives. And the other six awe, make. ʻIwa's skills were put to the test many, many more times. And he eventually became known throughout Hawaii Pai'aina as the best aihue that ever lived. After a long time, ʻIwa's na'au yearned for his makua and for the pali hauliuli o na ko'olau of his homeland, of Waikane, and he asked to ho'i, to return. Umi consented, and he had 2 wa'akaulua filled with na'ano mea waiwai like ole, with all kinds of treasures and riches for him and his ohana. No laila, ua ola kainoa o ka aihue kaulana, ke keu a me ka oiloa ko oi o ʻIwa. The name of ʻIwa lived forever and ever till this day as the best aihue there ever was. Pipi holo kaʻao.